Blessings, everyone, and welcome once again to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman Bergeron. It's a joy to be with you, although I'm a few minutes late due to doctor's appointments, and we can't change their schedule for ours. They have a little higher bearing on my health and wellness. So, with that said, I was glad I caught at the time and when I got home, and here I am. And I know that each of you can find me anyway on Humanity Healing or on my blog or my own page. So, it's a question of being live with me. And for most people, we don't have a lot of time to go live with everyone. And I appreciate that when you do find it, you stop and take a glance at it and see if it has any meaning for you. And this is my offer to the world, as most of you know who I am, and why I do this. And it's been going on for about 23 years now. Although 23 years ago, I had no clue that I would even be doing anything like this. It was totally out of uh, my world. It was a different world for me. And over those 22, well, it's 23 now, the changes have become such, the word wonderful is coming through. It's been such a wonderful adventure. And I say adventure to that because none of this was ever planned. Nothing was ever planned. It was going day by day and listening to something that was not my mind. My mind would always struggle with what I would hear or what I would tap into or what I would communicate with. And at first, I looked at it as angels, and I still call them angels. Whether they are or not is really irrelevant for me, but to me, they are angels. Whether they're aliens or monkeys or trees, doesn't matter. They're all my angels. And when I say the word angels, I don't look at it in the way we've been taught in the religious ways of angels, but they're an existent being. And that existent being has so much grace, so much power, so much joy, so much wanting, desiring to help others. So, as many of you know, I'm called Charlie Riverman, the Earth Angel. And that was given to me with this pin, which is an Earth Angel from an indigenous grandmother who I had never spent any time with or anything, but I was offering um, bumper stickers that I had been guided to make and to put them on her sale list, or could she do it? I can't remember what it's called, but sort of I put them there, and if she sells them, she gives me some money, and she makes some money. Anyway, make the long story short, that was sort of a beginning of trusting what I was hearing, trusting what I was feeling, trusting that I could communicate with things that were not seen, that were not heard in public. I was given songs to sing. I was given directions to create grid lines and grids and go and celebrate full moon and new moon. And I had never understood any of this before that. And the key is that each of us are at any point in our life in a position for change. And that position for change is really something that we don't know when it's going to happen. We don't know how it's going to happen. But the potential is there all the time. And for those of you who are being enraveled in what's happening in the world today, I want you to understand that what's happening today is as sad and as horrible as it is. It's part of something that is bigger than all of us. And it will evolve into something magnificent. And I can't say how or why or when. And I wish we could do it without this chaos and this confusion. But if we look throughout human history and go back thousands and thousands of years, we're not talking about a couple of thousand, we're talking about tens of thousands of years, there are civilizations that are buried underground that had great skills. They had beautiful art, they had beautiful buildings, they had technology, understanding not like we do, but understanding sort of the Earth's technology, the whole technological, non physical technology, and how to bring things together and how to harmonize and heal without medicines, without all of this. It was all natural. Everything was natural. And yet, time passed on, and that civilization was replaced by another one, and another one, by another one, and another one, etc., until we are here now in this dimension of our third dimension. I say that carefully. So, what is this all about, really, when we look at how we come to a place where we're all gathered? There's over 8 billion of us, and the suffering is at probably the highest level that humanity has ever endured in its history. I don't know the populations back then, but I'm assuming, and I will say assuming, that this is when this is what we're dealing with right now, is this abundance of humanity that is in need of things that are destroying the planet, not helping the planet. They are helping many people become trillionaires and quadrillionaires. They are, it's creating a world where those who can create those things and have patents for those things rule the governments, because without them, they can't do what they want to do. So there's a combination of all of this all over the world, in every country, of how does what we call our ruling forces marry together with those who are creating things that empower them to be, how do I say it, able to overpower somebody else. The word power, overpower. These are the words that we live in today. This is what we look at today instead of the peaceful living of when we were all look back and were younger. We didn't have all of these things going through our mind. Although many of you probably lived in a world that was not friendly, that was not kind, that you had to go through that. I am so sorry for that, for you, because those of us who didn't have it so bad dreamt of a world that was just la la land. And we dreamed about things. But those dreams are not just dreams. What they are is a part of our conscious awareness that never gets manifested into reality. And I'm saying this from my guides right now. And the reality of that is that each of us have the power to shift, to turn the knob, to change the channel, to dive deeper into our inner self, our heart, which is the center of all of our forces. When the heart stops, everything else stops. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care what your intelligence level is. I don't care how strong you are, if you're a boxer or a fighter. I don't care how big and tough you are. I don't care about that, because when the heart stops, you stop. And that's the key to life, is what are we doing to honor this presence in our body that allows us to live here? It isn't governments that allow us to live here. It isn't our parents that allow us to live here. That's a vision of control over somebody or something, that we are in control, but they're not our living saviors. They can kill us more rapidly than save us because that's what they focus on. That's what the world focuses on is destruction. What do we have to destroy in order to get something? We don't have to destroy. And that's been long told by many, many, many people. We can learn to work in community with nature. Our ancestors did. They grabbed the herbs and the things. Well, our scientists do the same things, except they take one little element of it and patent it as a drug. So now it's no longer a part of the whole cycle. It's owned and powered and paid for. They've taken something that was naturally there to begin with, that our ancestors would take and help ourselves heal without paying attention to what is the profit margin, is this a commodity? This is where we've gone in error. And I don't want to lecture through this because there was a bigger thing I want to say, but this lines up to the message that I read this morning, and I'm going to try to find it here. And it's just it's amazing, this writing. It was written by a person named Brian Piergrossi, Piergrossi. I've not looked him up. I don't know who he is. Somebody else posted this, but these are his words, and they struck me this morning with the word yes. I couldn't write a bigger yes on the wall for what is being said in this writing. And maybe you all know about this, and I'm just the sleepyhead who's awakening to this thing. Not that I'm not awake to what he's talking about, but the way it's put into language that touches everyone in a very, very, very powerful way. So I know I can get rambly. So I want to read this to you now. And again, get my phone up here. I could have downloaded on my thing, but as I said, I had a doctor's appointment, didn't have time. And it's called A Spiritual Conspiracy. On the surface of the world right now, there is a war and violence, and things seem dark. But calmly and quietly, at the same time, something else is happening underground. An inner revolution is taking place, and certain individuals are being called to a higher place. And I lost the page. La la la. Of course I did. I'll be back. This is what happens when you do things on short notice and no preparation. And it's all good. It's okay. Bear with me. You've done it for years, so you know me. I'm not a professional here. I'm just like you. And so we left off with violence and war, and something else is happening underground. An inner revolution is taking place. And certain individuals are being called to a higher light. And I'm assuming it's all of us. It is a silent revolution from the inside out, from the ground up. This is a global operation, a spiritual conspiracy. There are sleeper cells in every nation on the planet. You won't see us on TV. You won't read about us in the newspaper. You won't hear about us on the radio. We don't seek any glory. We don't wear any uniform. We come in all shapes, sizes, and colors and styles. Most of us work anonymously. We are quietly working behind the scenes in every country and culture of the world. Cities, big and small, mountains and valleys, in farms and villages, tribes and remote islands. You could pass by one of us on the street and not even notice we go undercover. We remain behind the scenes. It is of no concern to us who takes the final credit, but simply that the work gets done. Occasionally, we spot each other on the street. We give a nod and continue our way. During the day, many of us pretend we have normal jobs, but behind the false storefront at night is where the real work takes place. Some call us the conscious army. We are slowly creating a new world with the power of our minds and hearts. We follow with passion and joy. Our orders come from the central spiritual intelligence. We are dropping soft, secret love bombs when no one is looking. Poems, hugs, music, photography, movies, kind words, smiles, meditation and prayer, dance, social activism, websites, blogs, random acts of kindness, releasing grudges, letting go of judgments. We each express ourselves in our own unique ways, with our own unique gifts and talents. Be the change you want to see in the world. That is the motto that fills our hearts. We know it is the only way real transformation takes place. We know that quietly and humbly we have the power of all the oceans combined. Our work is slow and meticulous, like the formation of mountains. It is not even visible at first glance, and yet with it entire tectonic plates shall be moved in the centuries to come. Love is the new religion of the 21st century. You don't have to be a highly educated person or have any exceptional knowledge to understand it. It comes from the intelligence of the heart, embedded in the timeless evolutionary pulse of all human beings. Be the change you want to see in the world. Nobody else can do it for you. We are now recruiting. Perhaps you will join us, or already have. All are welcome. The door is open. Brian Piergrossi. A lot of words, isn't it? A lot of powerful words. A gift that was given, hopefully, by Brian Piergrossi. I don't know who he is. I may get slammed for, saying this. I'm not really interested in all of that. The message itself wants to be heard. The message itself, whoever it came through, wherever it came from, is somewhere within all of us. Each one of us have a different rhythm. Each one of us have a different style. We look different. We eat different foods. But that we are not different. None of us are different from each other. We are humans living on planet Earth and need to embrace the wholeness of that, the gift that each one of our ancestors have left within us to share with each other in order to bring us together, not to separate us. With that, I'm complete. And I sometimes wonder, how does this happen? Why does it happen? And why am I driven to be here and share this? And the only thing I can say is, because I love you. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. One heart, one love, forever. Whether we're in these bodies, on this planet, in this dimension, or somewhere else, it doesn't matter. It's where the heart is where we truly live. May each of you take these words and just take a deep breath. There are many ways that we can resolve all of the negativity that is now happening. And I ask you to join me and others in sending love, in sending light, and in sending peace, whether it be thoughts, energy, smiles, jokes, whatever it is. Be who you really are. Own that beautiful self. Because there's no one on earth exactly like you. Bless you all. We'll see you next Wednesday. Again, my apologies for my late arrival and perhaps short talk. But I knew when I saw the time, I said, I can't skip today. Not with that message that hit me so deeply this morning. Love you all. Blessings to humanity healing for all that you do. And may each of us live a better life through our hearts. Thank you, Melinda, for being here. And Diana, I see you popped in. So bless you. I'm going to send you a heart. It'll say coming from Humanity Healing, but then I will sign off and give you a personal one as well. It's great to be here. Thank you. Bye-bye.